Hello everyone, whoever is watching this video. I've got a really cool guitar here today. It is a Martin 12 fret Gruhn Spec Sinker Mahogany D-18. So what that means is, and I'll give you a little twirly-do here. So what that means is the body meets at the 12th fret instead of the 14th fret like normal. And also it's a slotted headstock, so it's a little bit different. And it's made with sinker mahogany back and sides, which sinker mahogany is like logs that have been underwater for possibly 100 to 200 years. So you get really old wood in a modern guitar, is the gist of it, basically. Anyway, so this is awesome. It's a Gruhn Spec, which is a little different than the Martin Custom Shop. And so it's 1 3/4 at the nut. It's 2 1/4 at the 12th fret, and then it's 2 5/16 at the saddle. So it kind of spreads out. It gets a little wider. It's not quite as, it's a little more of a triangle neck as opposed to just like a almost straight across long rectangle neck, if that makes sense. I'm sure it does. Anyway, this is one of my favorite guitars. I know if you've watched a lot of my videos, you think I probably say that a lot, but I usually only get guitars that I think are really cool. I try to. And I only say that when I mean it. And this might be my favorite guitar that I've had. I've been really into 12 frets lately, and this one is just awesome. It sounds great. It plays great up and down the neck. It's got a nice, not overly chunky neck, but not real thin either. And I recently changed the strings on it. I'd never changed strings on a slotted headstock, so I was a little bit apprehensive about that. But it actually worked really well. I just kind of looked at them, how they were already done, and then it didn't take all that much longer than just normal string change. So if you've thought about getting a slotted headstock but haven't wanted to because you're worried about the string change, it's really not that bad. So that is no longer a closeted fear of mine, is changing the strings on a slotted headstock. This one has Grover tuners. They work really well. I've just had this on my Tone Traveler for like 3 or 4 days, and then when I took it off, it was pretty much in tune still. It was, slightly out at a little couple places, but really good for being on the Tone Traveler for like 3 or 4 days straight. Anyway, I'll shut up about it and just give you guys some playing. This one is normally, when it was new, I think the build sheet said it was $66.21, so $6.5 grand. It's a pretty penny. I'm selling this one for, I think I've got it listed for like I would sell it for like $4,400 basically, so I can get what I paid out of it, which I don't really want to sell it, but I got this one, and then there was a 14 fret of almost the exact same guitar, and so I got that to kind of compare it to, and then I'd already purchased this pre-war guitar company, basically their version of a D-28, so it's got rosewood back and sides. So now I have 3 guitars that I love, and I'm trying to get down to only just one of them. I've played them back and forth. This is probably my favorite, so if the other ones sell, I will definitely keep this, but right now it's kind of a tough time for selling, so whatever, you gotta sell to whoever's willing to buy whatever, you gotta kind of do it. But so that's where I'm at. And sometimes when people hear that I might sell a guitar that I really, really like, they're like, why are you doing that? That's dumb. Yes, it is dumb. However, as someone who kind of buys and sells guitars, even at like $4,400 instead of $6,600, this is taking up a lot of my usable cash for other guitars. And I'm actually kind of overdrawn right now. Not overdrawn, but I just have too many guitars already. And so if I want to get any more guitars, I need to sell some of the cool guitars that I love. This is one of the cool guitars I love. It's pretty much mint. There's a little bit of pick wear. Okay, there we go. I could get it the light. So you can see the pick wear kind of going down like this from a previous owner. I don't pick in such a direction, but anyway, that's like pretty much the only thing. And you can't really even see it unless you just turn it and get the light just right. Anyway, other than that, I think it's pretty clean. Again, Sinker Mahogany back and sides, absolutely gorgeous guitar. And sorry about the light. It's morning, and no matter which window I go to, it looks like I'm in heaven. So anyway, I'll just play some tunes here for you. Left my capo over here. Hold on. Be right back. Okay, here I am still. So one thing I was kind of nervous about 12 frets in general, which I think a lot of people are, is not having access to the higher up frets as much up here, which is true. You can't really, it's harder to, even if you're going to like solo in whatever your E minor pentatonic or G pentatonic, it's kind of hard to get up here, you know, not impossible, but a little bit harder than a 14 fret. But I think you get a lot of oomph and a kind of a richer sound than on the 14 fret versions. So it's kind of a trade-off. I usually am not playing way up there. If I'm going to solo, it's usually kind of around here. And so it's not that big of adjustment realistically. Most of the time I'm playing chords. I'm more of a rhythm guy. And so it's actually a pretty good compromise, I think. Have a little better sound all the time when you're strumming. Slightly less access to the higher notes up here. I'll take that trade. Anyway, another thing I was kind of worried about is with these 14 frets, they have a slightly, more of a triangle neck. It gets wider as it goes down. So I have a few songs that I capo at the 7th. I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to do that. But I can, no problem. It's not so thick that you can't. It actually works pretty well. This is without retuning or anything. Just you watch me put it on and here I go. So anyway, there's some deals. I think it sounds great kind of everywhere you put it. And I could capo up higher if I wanted to. There'd just be kind of running out of space all around there, but it's not so thick that you can't capo higher. I don't know any songs really in capo 8 or 9, so 7 is as high as I go. I really like it in drop D too. I think it sounds, some of these bigger body guitars I think sound really good in drop D. So anyway. Anyway, there you go. A Martin Gruhn Spec D-18s zinc or mahogany. I'm not sure which order to put all that in, but hopefully you get the idea. You can put all that together. Zinc or mahogany back and side, slotted headstock, 12 fret, Gruhn specs. Anyway, one of my favorite guitars, probably my favorite guitar I have, you know, maybe my favorite guitar I've ever had. I've bought and sold around 150 guitars. This would definitely be on my short list of, especially for dreadnoughts. Like, there's kind of different categories and different price points, but kind of in that $4,000 to $5,000 range. I think it's really, really, really hard to beat this one. So I'm kind of hoping the other ones sell first, and I don't have to sell this one. But such is life. I will move on if I sell it. I'll be happy for whoever gets it. They'll have a lifer guitar. Thanks for watching, everyone.